What's up everyone? Today I have for you a way to generate an infinite amount of gold. So we have discovered a game-breaking interaction recently. First of all, massive thank you to Infected Player and Freetz for making me aware of this combo even existing. I would not have discovered it myself, but after discovering it, you just know that I had to make a build on it because it is actually so broken. So what you will need for this combo to work is a sauropod. As you can see, I am trying to build one up in the team right now. Ideally we want it up to level 3, but if you can find multiple level 2s, that will also suffice. Not to mention that you can combine multiple level 2s into a level 3. But the other puzzle piece of this combo is going to be the Pteranodon. So you will need to survive at least until turn 11 in order to use this combo, because you will not only need 2 tier 6 units to make it work, but you will also need a tier 6 food in the form of the mushroom. You probably saw at the beginning of the turn we replaced the melon with the mushroom for that reason precisely, and you will soon see how this infinite combo is going to work. We have managed to preserve, however, 3 hearts until turn 11, so we can play around with it a little bit. We can be a little bit greedy, farming that extra little bit of gold with the stingray. So we can actually afford to lose a couple of times, and we end up doing so right here. That is no problem at all though, as we get the Pteranodon and we also have a level 3 sauropod available. So funnily enough, we can actually start doing the combo right here if we wanted to. And I think I will actually demonstrate the premise of the combo in a little bit, but what I will try to do mainly is going for a setup that will allow us to never drop the combo again once we get it going, which I believe will be next turn. So here we go, this is how the combo works. We peel a sauropod with a mushroom, and then we get another sauropod, but because of the Pteranodon we also get an extra copy. So this is actually a neat method you can use to get extra levels in your normal arena runs, but what we're trying to go for now is actually get as many level 3s as possible in order to make it easy for us to get the combo started next turn. What we will need is as many mushrooms as possible, as many levels as possible, and hopefully finding an extra Pteranodon or 2 in the shop to sustain the combo. As you can see, Pteranodon has already exhausted its triggers for the turn. There is a way to reset them, but we will need to find extra copies of the Pteranodon in order to do so. In the meantime, I had scaled the shop up a little bit just to get the golden scarab up to 10 attacks, so that way when we buy sell it we will have 1 extra gold to work with. And by the way, this pack code will be left in the description in case you want to try this combo out. You can probably optimize the pack that I used though, so feel free to experiment. But this is the premise. With all of the extra gold from the sauropods, we are going to be buying canned foods. You can also buy peaches of immortality. You have multiple ways to scale up your team if you wanted to. But I think for this run I will be resorting to can usage. Here we find an extra sauropod in the shop, so we get to reset the triggers this way. Very important how you stack the sauropods together. You want to take the one without any triggers and drag it on top of the one that has some triggers. That way you get to keep the triggers at a higher level. So it is a little bit complicated, you need a little bit of knowledge of the game in order to execute it, but once you have had a little bit of practice you can actually maintain this relatively consistently. Once again, it's not a perfect infinite combo, as you need to get some mushrooms and Pteranodons in order to sustain it, which is obviously luck dependent, but there are also multiple other outs that you can find. We will start actually exploring the combo in more detail starting from the next turn once we finish up with this battle. We lose here, but that is perfectly fine. It is what we anticipated as we set up for this turn in particular. And turn 13, believe it or not, we will end the turn with a 100-100 shop and 5 of a kind behemoth. So this is how it's going to work. We build the sauropods as we try to exhaust the triggers first, of course, because that way we get the extra gold that we can produce with them. But this is the pill usage. We pill, we duplicate, and now that we have exhausted the triggers on the Pteranodon, we can take one from the shop and actually stack them together to reset the triggers, similarly to how we did with the sauropod itself. I will show you some alternatives which you can use to get the combo to continue going, because as I said, you will not always be able to find a mushroom, you will not always be able to find a pill. You probably saw me at the beginning actually using a pill book to generate a pill instead of straight up finding one in the shop. Here I think I am actually going to commit a little bit of a misplay. The gold cap is 30, so if you try to sell anything when you have 30 gold already, you will not be getting any extra. So you have to be a little bit careful to not overflow your gold, but it gets some practice getting used to once again, but I think it should be easy enough for everyone to comprehend. So I think in a second we're actually going to be selling the oyster, we're going to be combining the sauropods, or rather the pteranodons, I get the dinosaurs mixed up. Yep, exhausting the triggers. We can at any point in time sell this oyster right now, and we can get a level 2, actually level 2 pteranodon, which will give us 2 triggers. So that will mean twice as long without needing to reset the pteranodon itself, and we will get to resustain the combo by using this pill in the shop right here. I also have stuff like hedgehog and small one in the pack in case you don't find any pills. Those are also able to faint 1/1 units, which can reset the triggers. I think we will get to see that a little bit further in, but yeah, for now we just reapply the mushroom, continue with the infinite combo. It gets very monotonous, as you can imagine. I even forget to freeze a pill book in the shop right there, which would be pretty important for this kind of build. But yeah, we just continue using foods. Avocado maybe not even necessary, because as I said, we will be ending off this turn with the maximum amount of stats possible. What we need to find is just more pteranodons, more gold generation, more mushrooms, more pills, and I think we can sustain this combo relatively easily forever. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show off in this video. We will skip forward in a little bit once we go through the combo one more time, as we can show off how it works a little bit more precisely. I think as I am quite unlucky finding any pills in the shop, I will settle for this small one, which will waste some of the triggers of the pteranodon, but at the same time it will also give us double sauropod back. So we get to endure a little bit of a sacrifice, but I think it's very much worth it. We're going to skip ahead in a second. Also, it's worth mentioning, I have stuff like cornucopia and tofu, as well as pillbug in the pack to increase the consistency. But here we go, this is the same turn, we're still on turn 13, we have continued this combo I think for like a little bit over an hour, but we finally have the 100-100 shop. I'm going to start killing off the sauropods now in order to finally get rid of them and replace them with behemoths. A little bit of a disclaimer by the way, this team is considered to be highly scummy, so please try not to overuse this strategy too much, as other people will be able to face off against you and probably will be very salty if they lose to you. So let's all make a gentleman's agreement to not use this unless it is strictly necessary, and maybe try to use it as few times as possible. Thank you very much. So I think I'm going to start pivoting hardcore into these behemoths, selling the pteranodon. I am giving up on continuing the infinite, or I think at least I will sell it once we have 27 gold in order to not waste any more of it. And yeah, it's kinda difficult to manage all of this gold still. I do want to end on 5 of a kind behemoth by the end of the turn, so we will need to micromanage with a little bit of precision in order to maximize the chances of that happening. Cornucopia right here is actually great. We don't have melon in the pack, so it's actually going to be pretty beneficial for us to find some perks that we can put onto the behemoths. Not that it's really necessary, we will have 5 100-100 units on turn 13, So yeah, I might just be a little bit paranoid that I might lose to something even though it's so early on into the game, but it's better to be safe than sorry in my opinion. So we're going to continue rolling. We're going to actually peel this sauropod in order to reset the triggers one last time. It's going to help us a little bit with gold generation, which will in turn help us to find those 2 remaining behemoths. Speaking of which, here is one right here. The sauropod is going to remain here until all of its triggers have been used up. Competo is actually great for that sort of stuff because it utilizes 2 triggers for the cost of only 1 food, so we're very happy to keep finding those as we find the 5th behemoth in the shop. We are going to hopefully find yet another cornucopia in order to use it up, get yet another perk. At this point I was just very happy to have 5 different perks on the 5 different behemoths. So yeah, this is going to be what the final team looks like. We might actually keep rolling for that final cornucopia in order to place that 5th perk. Pita bread is better, but popcorn once again is different, so this is what I am going to take. And at this point we can just basically skip every single turn as we have maxed out basically everything. We don't need to do any more work. We can just enjoy the easy victories. By the way, I apologize to anyone who had to face this team. I promise to never do this kind of build again until we discover another infinite combo that I want to display. But here we go, we're skipping turns with 19 gold available, so we just enjoy our battles and get this over with. I was kind of fed up with this strategy by the end of it. As I said, it took like an hour or so to complete, so I was just extremely happy to click end turn and reap the benefits of my hard effort. So here we go, this is a high scaled up team with multiple melons, but once again it does not matter, and I believe we're coming up on the final turn. So I really hope you enjoyed this kind of build, and if you did, I really hope that you like, sub, do all the generic stuff, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.